I got you into a Remington party. What's my thanks? It's on the hallway carpet. I got paid in puke. Lick it up, baby. I got paid in puke.
Welcome to Paid in Puke, a podcast where three women with names discuss movies about something other than a man. Paid in Puke is hosted by Annie Malone, Christina Barr, and Jessica Baxter. It's also a spoiler-filled free-for-all. You've been warned. Welcome to Paid in Puke! This season we're discussing every episode of Ryan Murphy's American crime story miniseries Impeachment, starring Sarah Paulson and Beanie Feldstein. I'm Jessica Baxter.
I'm Christina Barr.
I'm Annie Malone.
And today we're talking about episode 5, Do You Hear What I Hear? Written by Hallie Pfeiffer and directed by Laurie de Clermont-Tonnerre. I'm sorry if I butchered this woman's name last time and again.
En français, please.
S'il vous plaît.
I saw the witness list for the Paula Jones suit, and your name is on it.
I'm on a witness list, and you got a subpoena.
What if they ask about you? I can't commit perjury.
Mrs. Jones, this is a deposition. You're required to answer these questions.
They have no idea how hard it's about to get for him.
We just need copies of your tapes.
Somebody has told them something.
I'm going to deny it, and it'll be over.
It originally aired on October 5th, 2021. It's an action-packed episode that ushers both Linda and Monica past the point of no return. It's also a Christmas episode. Christmas 1997. Does everyone remember where they were in Christmas 1997?
Nope.
I was a freshman in college. That was my first time coming home from college for Christmas.
Oh, yeah. I would have been a sophomore in college, and that would be the last time I came home for Christmas.
I was 25 and I was living with my old internet boyfriend, and I think we went to New Jersey and visited my family, like New York and New Jersey. I almost always went to New York for Christmas until I had kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. New York at Christmas time. It opens with a rare Monica kind of taking it easy and breezy at a Tex-Mex bar. Like, for 5 seconds, she kind of gets to be a normal 20-something. She meets Jake Tapper, who is a future CNN sports anchor.
Yeah. Is there a backstory there?
Apparently that sort of really happened where he did ask her out. It didn't happen exactly like that. Like, they met at a party, and then he asked her out on a date, and they went on a date.
Oh, wow.
And then he, years later, wrote about it for money, because he's a dick.
Well, yeah, in the scene, his buddy is like, oh, I heard she worked at the White House, and it's like his ears perked up,
Yeah.
and he like went over there to talk to her.
I know. So it sucks when he says this is a date, and she gets so excited. Or not, not excited, but she's like, oh, that's nice. Someone's treating me well for once.
Right. DC must be like one of the most exhausting places to be single and to be dating.
Yeah.
It seems
Everyone's
like
so
more
ambitious.
toxic than Hollywood. It's more toxic, and the people
And
are generally less attractive.
Right.
Yeah.
Politics
Right.
is
Cool.
for ugly people.
And worse, bad people, because it's just all of the toxicity. There's almost no good people there, right? Nobody with pure motivations.
Right.
And when they are of pure motivations, like Monica Lewinsky, they get chewed up and spit out.
Yeah.
It was really hard to watch this episode for Monica. Like, I was just feeling for her more than I have in these other episodes so far, for some reason in this particular episode. I feel like a theme in this episode is people pretending to give a shit about a victim and actively stabbing them in the back while pretending to give a shit.
Yeah, and that Linda is the one who, like, is her lifeline for support, emotional support.
Yeah, like her mom and friends have disappeared. I don't know where they all went, but they're not
And
here
then
now.
meet her friend that was giving good advice.
And for me, yeah, like the scene where Linda Tripp is with her teenage kids opening presents on Christmas morning, and then she ignores the call from Monica, and it cuts to Monica, and she's like just
In the dark.
sitting in the dark with her blackout curtains
Yeah.
on.
Hi, you've reached the home of Linda, Ryan, and Allison Tripp. We're not available to take your call. Please leave a message.
Hey, I just wanted to say Merry Christmas, and I just want to talk about everything, and see if you made a decision. Okay, please, just call me anytime.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Merry Christmas.
You really get the sense of like how alone she was.
Yeah.
You know?
It feels so cold. They really did a good job exuding, I should say, Clermont-Tonnerre. Did a really good job exuding the coldness in this particular episode.
Yeah.
I really appreciate a sort of Christmas episode, and I feel like there was a lot of that going on.
Right, and it was so frustrating for me because I love Christmas. I hate how much Linda loves Christmas.
Oh my God.
Don't make me have feelings.
God, how did you afford these?
No. I go nuts for Christmas. I know it's maybe not your thing.
Oh, please, we're LA Jews. I've been going to Christmas parties since I was born.
I go nuts for Christmas,
So
she says.
out of character to me because I love Christmas
Yeah.
so purely, you know, that like when someone loves Christmas, I want to be like, oh, that means they're soft inside.
That means they're, sweet.
Right.
For her, like with everything, it's just a
It's like
way to
open
ingratiate
paradise.
herself
It
to
was
people.
like, look at my fabulous Christmas village that I've been curating my entire life. Like I got on my first trip to Germany, and I was like, all right, good.
And, like, does anybody there care? Like, she's giving tours. Like, people are like, yes, I can't wait to get my tour of Linda's Christmas decorations.
Right. Like, people who are into that, like, they want to see someone's Christmas village shit, but I don't think you need a tour of it. It's just like on a table, you know. Like, there might be some of that for people who are way into that.
Yeah.
She literally eventually opens a store in Northern Virginia that's Bavarian Christmas shit. And so I guess, like, she's living her dream at that point. Like, just talking about Bavarian Christmas all year round with people.
Right.
People think the Christmas store isn't busy.
Trip at Christmas? Forget it.
God, best movie ever. The antithesis of Linda Tripp is Barb and Star.
I don't know. There was just also something very disarming about Monica Lewinsky. Like, there's a moment where she's arriving at this intense Bavarian Christmas thing, and she looks at the sign above, and it's like all in German.
Yes.
Oh, it means Merry Christmas.
She's maybe the only Jewish person there, and it's like just intense.
Well, it's just a million microaggressions in this episode. Like, before she got there, Linda was like, I know Christmas might not be your thing. Like, oh, fuck you. Just the way she says that, like, you poor Jewish girl.
We'll call her Jewy.
Yeah. And then the dress.
Oh, boy.
I would say this to my own daughter.
Hello.
Look, I want to feel confident at the interview, and I know I look good in that dress.
Well, if you think it's flattering, I mean, that's what matters.
What?
I want you to look thin and beautiful.
What does that mean?
I'm sorry, but I would want to be told. The truth is you look heavy in that dress.
Are you serious?
You touch me.
Okay, well, what's more slimming, the peach suit or the dark teal?
Your peach suit is exquisite. I think that works beautifully.
Oh my God.
That was awful.
So horrible.
Yeah. I feel like it was another example of like good advice for a bad reason because I feel like she probably should have kept it, you know, like even if she wasn't about to get hosed by Linda herself, there's an alternate reality where it could have been helpful for her to have that. Let's say like no one had ever sold her out, but someone still found out about it and asked her to testify and she was testifying honestly. You know what I mean? Like if she didn't have this blind loyalty to Bill and did testify about what happened, then like there would have been a smear campaign against her and then they would say she was lying. It probably was like a good thing for her to keep.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I can see a way in that, like, yeah, hold on to that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see an alternate universe where people really did care about her as a person and wanted justice for her and did it in a way that didn't destroy her life.
Well, it's just basically like Bill
because she was victimized.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Bill was asking her to lie for him. What if she had not done that? You know, and then he would have just been like going out. You know, he's an asshole. Like, I guess it would have been the same angry mob against her, but for a different reason or whatever. But
Yeah. I mean, the problem...
like, that she had evidence of what happened, and it was relevant in a bigger way, and there would be people who wouldn't believe her, so yeah. But, you know, what it really is like, it's good for Linda. That's why Linda's saying, like, hold on to that, because I want to write a book.
Yeah.
It's really so clear how much Linda was puppet mastering this thing for her own gain. Like, It's crazy. It really is just this thing that she latched onto and masterminded in such an evil way.
Right.
Evil, self-serving way at every turn.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
And you see, like, when the FBI agents or Ken Starr's lawyer show up to her house, she's like, oh, I'm gonna meet her and I'm gonna record it.
I'll have a clean tape for you tomorrow, too.
What do you mean, clean tape?
I've arranged lunch with Monica. Tomorrow in Virginia, where they're less dictatorial about single-party taping, I'm going to tape the whole thing, but legal this time.
And how are you going to do that?
I'm going to wire myself with a recording device. I plan to wear a loose blouse.
No way. This is an active federal investigation. If you're going to be wired, you're going to be wired by the FBI.
Oh my God, I know.
I'm horny for it.
She's so horny for it.
See her eyes light up.
Getting wired by the FBI, baby. Oh my God, I know. She's so fucking into it.
I love how Colin Hanks is like the moral center of his episode.
Yes.
You know, he's like, so you're a friend?
This Monica has no idea.
Of course not.
And I'm sorry, you refer to this person as your good friend?
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I'm just trying to ascertain.
Well, I have been Monica's sole support for over a year. I've given her my time, my counsel in her darkest, loneliest hour. There was one person she knew would pick up the phone, and that was me.
Heather, why can't you just be a friend? Why are you such a mega bitch?
Friend?
I know. Thank you for saying that, Colin. I forget his character's name. Mike Emick. Thank you for saying that, because somebody needs to. Like, no one has brought that up yet. I wish Monica had been there to hear that. Right. I guess if she'd known this was happening, it wouldn't have gone down this way, but my God. Although at this point, I feel like she really does know that Linda's backstabbing her, but she can't do anything. It's already happening.
Right, and I think she's like so confused and also so paranoid. She's paranoid because so much shit is happening and her name keeps coming up, and so I feel like it's easy for her to, anytime she's onto Linda in some way, to just tell her, oh my God, you're being so paranoid, this is your friend.
Yeah, because the truth is way more inconvenient.
Right, well, and then also, it's hard to believe that, you know what I mean, if you have a good friend that you talk to all the time, like, it's hard to believe they're actually secretly plotting against you, you know, like, that is a
it
really paranoid
doesn't
way to feel,
go into your calculus. Like the scene
Mm-hmm.
where they're both in the car and she's like, it doesn't make sense. The only person who knows is my mom and da-da-da and you.
The hat pin? They have intel.
The only people that know are my closest friends, my mom, but she doesn't even know any details, and Bill, and you.
Well, Monica, somebody has told them something.
Oh, yeah, thank you. You think I haven't been torturing myself about that? That I haven't fucking stopped thinking about that? But I'm going to deny it, and it'll be over, okay? So I'm going to sign that affidavit tomorrow, and you are going to sign one that matches mine, and then we're both going to be off the hook. Hello?
Yeah, like the hat pin is so specific. That's crazy.
It doesn't compute. Like, how could your friend do that? You know what I mean? It's, yeah, I just really, I really felt for her, that scene. And then she, like, constantly is getting gaslit by Linda. Like, Linda's telling her, I think this is worse for me than it is for you. You know? And like, saying, like, you'll be fine. You have connections.
That scene, and then Bill in the office saying,
no one supports women more than me.
Oh,
well, there's that too, but there was...
Shut up.
That was one of my meaningful passages.
There was something, he was like, years from now, you're gonna look back on this time and laugh.
And one day you'll look back on all this and laugh. I'll be some crazy story you tell your grandkids.
You're more than a crazy story.
Oh my God.
How fun. Yeah.
You mean a traumatizing story you tell your therapist for the rest of your life? No, you're gonna look back on this and laugh.
I mean, hopefully she can laugh about it now on some level.
Just what an interesting thing to say to someone.
Right.
The most traumatizing thing of your whole life. Someday you'll think it's funny. And how he has no perspective on how traumatizing this even is. Because he's just in his own head of like, everyone's trying to get me and no one understands how much of a feminist I am.
Right.
Yeah, it's so, oh God.
Women in my cabinet.
What did you say?
Just that was the 60s. Times are changing for women.
You know how many women I have in my cabinet?
Not off the top of... I mean, there's
Janet Reno, first female attorney general. Madeleine Albright, first female secretary of state. Donna Shalala, secretary of health and human services. Alexis Herman, secretary of labor. Carol Browner, EPA, Ida Alvarez, SBA, Charlene Bershevsky, U.S. Trade Rep, Janet Yellen, Chair of the Council of Economic Advisors. No one supports women more than me.
Binders of women.
I hire women. Do you think I would harass them? Come on.
Kind of made me think about nobody supports women more than me, and all of these women that he appointed. Janet Reno, the press was awful and people were awful about like her appearance.
Yeah, and I don't remember him standing up for her or any of the women he hired after. Yeah, he did hire a lot of women and they were all scrutinized very heavily. And I remember people saying they were diversity hires.
Right, and it kind of like gave this...
And he never was like, these women are qualified, and that's... I don't remember him ever being like, well, you guys need to shut the fuck up because this is why they're qualified. If you really want to support women, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, it just made me feel like it's like this way like of putting women in certain categories of, okay, well, you can be a powerful person, but not conventionally attractive, but you... I don't know, just the way that Clinton has all these women that he's being predatory with, and like he chooses these other women that are, I don't know, I guess I'm like, what does he have, like these like categories of women that can be like successful, or like this person can be, I don't know, it's just made me think of the way that people see certain women, like you can't be really attractive and also funny. Or
Totally. I see what you're saying, yeah. Because, like, so he hired Monica, or he didn't necessarily, but he was, like, supporting Monica in a sexual way only, when he could have definitely helped her career in a way that didn't ruin her life. Like, he could have actually not sexualized her and supported her and given her a good career. But then he's like, well, I don't want to fuck Janet Reno, so I'll just leave her alone. Hire her and leave her alone.
I don't know, like, you can be this, but you can't be... Like, women get put in these boxes.
Like, you can be attractive or you can be taken seriously.
Right, you can only be... and the women that were in his cabinet are all, like, they're not, like... I get...
Not conventionally attractive.
They're not conventionally attractive. Yeah. They're older women. And then he has these other women that he sees. And, like, he doesn't believe all women are equal in that way. Or, I feel like society has these ideas about women. If you're, like, a character who's, like, fat, you have to be funny or something in the movie. Or I don't know. There are just all these, like, boxes that women get put in. And it's like... You can be multiple things.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's where the Hollywood comparison is so apropos as well. Is like that's how movies are cast. Jobs are given in DC the way movies are cast in Hollywood. Like you can be a young, pretty intern, or you can be a matronly cabinet member.
I mean, I guess I just look at Clinton as somebody that abuses a lot of them, and he. Anyway, I'm not being very articulate, but...
Right. I mean, he's a sexual predator, and it's like, people have a hard time, or have had a hard time getting their head around that, because it's like, oh, but, like, he's a liberal Democrat, like, he's, supports feminist issues, and it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that he's not, like, grabbing some lady's ass and she didn't want him to,
Right.
Yeah. Oh my god, and then let's talk about his comparison to Kennedy, where he was like, Kennedy didn't have to put up with this shit.
Governor said, fuck this. Mr. President, this is what they're going to do to you.
Yeah, this is horseshit. You should be making a list like this for Paula Jones.
We are. When she sits for her deposition next week, she won't know what hit her. But right after that, you're up. Under oath. We can't delay it anymore.
I bet you Kennedy didn't have to answer this shit.
Yeah, well, that was the 60s.
Excuse me?
Right.
So he's like, I'm like Kennedy. And Kennedy was allowed to just harass whoever he wanted. Why do I have to deal with this? And then he gets so mad when that guy's like, well, it was a different time.
Right. Like,
he's like, what are you talking about?
That makes him so mad.
Yeah. Like, you were the one who just compared yourself to the president in the 60s.
Like, what's different now? Well, times are different.
Yeah. But then are they, though? Because it's funny when I think the guy literally says, like, it's different now for women. And he even kind of waits. There's like an ellipses in his line, or it's different now for women. And it's like, is it though?
Right.
A little bit, but not enough. Yeah. Not enough. Like, it's still a huge problem for women. They still get harassed. There might be consequences, but the chances are much more likely that the consequences will be for them more than the man still. Oh my god.
Janet Reno and Janet Yellen and Madeleine Albright, they were all, like, ridiculed for their appearance. Like, or like they were manly or something.
Yeah,
you
there's
know?
a
It's
man
like,
who played Janet Reno on SNL. I forget. It was like either like Will Ferrell or Dana Carvey or something.
I think it was Will Ferrell, yeah.
I want you to shut up if you can and listen to what my next guest has to say. He was named Associate Attorney General in 1981, but now he's just the mayor of New York. So, please welcome Super Hunk Rudolph Giuliani.
Yeah, Will Ferrell.
And like John Goodman played Linda Tripp.
Yeah.
We grew up in such a fucked up time. Not that we grew up in the 90s, but like the 90s I feel like were really bad for writers. Like that was like such an insult to women to be like, what a dog you are.
Yeah, you get
a guy
to
has
this,
to play you on SNL.
You get to this high level and have been appointed to the cabinet, executive branch, and you're ridiculed for being a dog. I don't know. I was a teenager. I'm like,
when there's like so many legit criticisms for Linda Tripp, like that she's a bad person.
For Waco, you know. But, like,
yeah, my God.
Right. Like, I'm sorry, I've hurt a bunch of people down, you know, but like, my bad.
Mea culpa, which Linda says at one point in this episode. Right. As if that's an apology. That was like so funny. Mea culpa!
If Janet Reno or something had been like a conventionally very attractive woman, like I'm sure she would have still been ripped to shreds, but it's like, oh, obviously she'd slept her way to her job.
Yeah.
A woman comes into the public eye and you find out how much people hate women. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I know. I mean, we don't even need to get into the 2016 election, right?
Right.
We hate women so much. Woo, boy. Yeah. And there's just so many reasons to not like Linda. She is the worst person. She is such a bad person. Like, her whole complaint to Monica, when Monica's like, will you please lie because this is my life we're talking about? And she's like, this is also happening to me.
I promised him that I won't tell anybody.
Monica, you are asking me to commit a crime.
lying, Linda.
And also, this isn't only happening to you. It is also happening to me. I'm a single mother. I'm a political appointee. I have to be careful.
But the reason this is happening to her is because she literally fucking made it happen.
Yeah. I was like a little bit team nobody on that, because I feel like, I don't know, you can really ask someone, please commit perjury.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
I feel like that's kind of a big ask, you know? Like,
yeah.
And especially like from her assuming, because she doesn't know like how much Linda orchestrated this, so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't feel like I would ask somebody to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, or at the very least, I could understand if someone said, like, I just don't feel like I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, her response is interesting. It's not like, no, I don't feel right doing that. It's like, this is my life too, and it's so hard to watch because we know that it's only because she made that happen.
Right. That's why I was real team nobody.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, I mean, the way that she just has no empathy for what Monica's going through. She's like, I need to talk to my lawyer. Or, you know, like, just, Monica.
Monica. Yeah, she's acting like, well, I'll get back to you about this.
Right.
I have to really think about it and talk to my lawyer. When she marches into the lawyer's office with the tapes and she's like, already got her plan. That is such a fucking sweet scene, though, when the lawyer's like, what?
Oh my God, that's so super illegal.
My calls with Monica.
You've been taping her. And does she know?
No. She had no idea.
Where were you calling her from?
My house in Columbia.
Linda, that's a felony.
What?
You cannot secretly tape phone calls in Maryland. It's a two-party consent state.
I was told it was fine.
By who?
My literary agent.
I'm your lawyer. Why didn't you ask me?
The lawyer's like, get it out of here.
I don't even want to touch these
Right.
things.
I love that though. She's just like, my literary agent told me it was legal.
I know.
Okay. Thanks, Margot Martindale.
You said taping phone calls was entirely fine.
Well, it is in New York.
Well, not everyone lives in New York.
Yes, I never understand that.
This is serious.
It's so funny because like Linda's like this mastermind in so many ways, and it's like, wow, you did not even a little bit follow up on like making sure you can do this.
Yeah.
You should definitely trust Lucianne Goldberg's advice on things.
Yeah. Oh, well, you can in New York.
Right. I love that too. Like, it's like New Yorkers think New York is the whole world.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
I really love her character. She's got that fancy
I love her
gold
fancy
telephone and like always has an olive martini in her hand.
Yeah.
She's always
like every time you catch her, she's like, I'm just having a drink and a smoke in my fancy ass apartment. She's obviously like so chaotic evil. It's great. It's such a wonderful character. What a great choice for that actor. Character actress Margot Martindale, exactly.
What dereliction is this? When you get to heaven, look up Margot Martindale. I won't be there, but my movies will.
The scene where Monica, like, I guess, like,
Monica.
Monica, like, to back up, like, with the Clinton scene, like, he's just so gross to me, like, how much he treats her like a child, you know, like...
Be a good girl.
Oh.
And he's like, this is a bear, and it stands for courage, so when you ever get scared, hold him tight.
You know, a bear symbolizes courage. So in your new life up there in the big city, when you need to be strong, just hold him close.
Like,
yeah, what the fuck?
You know, like, and then he kisses her on the head, like she's a child. I just found that so gross.
Good luck in New York. Be good.
It is really gross. It's disgusting. It would be fine if it were like, I feel very paternal towards you, like, without wanting to put my dick in you. Maybe, I don't know if it'd be fine, but it'd be one thing if it's like, I just really care about you and want the best for you, but it's not that at all. That's not what's going on there.
She's like, you're my whole world.
Oh.
That was so heartbreaking to see. You know, like, she's leaving the Oval Office and, like, he's just kind of, like, handled, you know, like...
Totally! He fucking checks that shit off his list, practically. That's how he's a supporter of women.
Right.
I manipulate them and make sure they're not gonna fuck me over. I know. He's like a stuffed animal. And what the fuck?
So gross.
And she's like, I was literally just ordered to turn in every gift you ever gave me.
Right.
And then he's always like, it's fine. It'll be fine.
I just keep thinking about the witness list and the subpoena and the hat pin.
You'll be okay.
He always says that. I can see why she'd want to believe him, but...
It doesn't matter to him, you know.
It doesn't matter to him.
Yeah.
And he assumes that it will be fine for him, and that's literally all that he cares about. Little does he know that he's putting the nails in his own coffin at that moment. Oh my god. It's kind of, in like hindsight, everybody here is an idiot.
It went so bad.
Yeah. Also, what does that A stand for when she's got like a little A, a scarlet letter A on her chest? Because I know it used to be an I for intern.
Oh, A. Oh,
But it's like, whenever she's visiting now, she gets an A.
Yeah, I don't know. Can't think of
I know.
what that would stand for.
Other than the
Maybe
obvious.
it's just like a grouping of like, this is class A, like what level? I have no idea, obviously.
I mean, I'd like to think that was a legit thing. They do seem to be generally pretty concerned with details and accuracy and a lot of, like, they will combine stuff like they did for the Jake Tapper thing where they just kind of like made it all one scene or whatever, but they generally are pretty detailed, so it seems like they wouldn't have put that there if it weren't something that really happened. The A stands for aid, because otherwise it's just so on the nose. Yeah, I really was saying ew, ew, ew a lot in this episode. Yeah. My notes are filled with ews.
Yeah. And the scene when Paula Jones is being questioned.
Yeah.
Was a real rough one.
Oh, yeah.
It's so hard.
Also, like, getting questioned about his dick.
You filed an affidavit claiming that President Clinton's penis has a distinguishing characteristic. Is that correct?
Yes, it's got sort of a U-turn in it.
Oh, you also made a statement that the president's penis is small. Have you ever taken an anatomy course, Mrs. Jones?
No, I haven't.
And your husband, Stephen Jones, was he your first sexual partner?
No.
So I'm left to gather that your ability to tell whether a man's penis is small or large is based on opportunities you've had to view other male penises. Is that correct?
Like, did you take an anatomy class or something? It's like, you know what a dick is supposed to look like. Come on. Imagine, like, being a serial predator and you have a weird dick like that. You know? Like,
yeah. I mean, she has a husband. I don't know. It's just like, so, like, oh, you've seen a lot of dicks, have you? Like, I've seen dicks. Yeah. Haven't you?
Right. What they're saying is, like, you've barely seen dicks. Like, you don't know his is weird. What are you even talking about? I mean, it's just, like, so strange.
Except then they're like, oh, but except for this guy that said that you sucked 3 dicks at a party.
Blowjob parties.
Well, if you had that testimony, then you already know I've seen at least one, whatever. Like, if you're going to believe that guy.
Well, which is it? Like,
yeah. Have I seen too many dicks or not enough dicks?
Right.
What are you trying to
amount of dicks to see? I don't.
It's so hard to see, like, I mean...
the right amount of dicks.
Yeah, the right amount.
It's so hard to see the right amount of dicks.
She's not highly educated, and she is very deferential to the lawyer and being compliant with the process, but she's being eaten alive by the lawyer.
And she's also being manipulated.
See somebody being fucked over so much like that.
And she seems so trusting, too.
Yeah. And then, like, her mom, who came from the country somewhere to, like, meet with her, and she sees Judith Light, and she's like, I heard you got an offer for all this money. And, like, Judith Light, she's like, well, it's not enough for our Paula. We need to...
Right.
Jeez, wow.
It took everything out of me to drive down here today.
Just so you know, Lone Oak is a half hour from here.
On Interstate 40. You know, I hate driving that thing, but I will to see my Paula.
Oh, Mama.
You know, your sister told me you got offered money to settle.
Yes, they did try to throw a check at us to make this all go away, but any settlement needs to start with an apology to our Paula. You know what? I'm gonna go check us into the restaurant. Can't wait to hear what this one was like when she was a little girl.
Oh,
Paula Pooh.
And she kind of puts on a southern accent a little bit, too, in that scene, I noticed.
Oh, Paula Pooh.
Yeah.
It's so gross. These people are just, like, vampires. It just sucks. Like, so many people get screwed over, and it's hard to watch that shit.
It is. Especially when Annaleigh Ashford plays Paula Jones. So sweet.
I know. She's so good.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, I got people taking care of me. And
I heard that they offered you $700,000. Is that true? Gosh, that's a lot of money.
I know, but Susie and Steve thought that it wouldn't be right if I took it.
Look, Paula, how are you staying here? Who's paying for all this?
Well, Susie has some really powerful friends.
Oh,
and
I bet.
Got me a new lawyer and everything.
I'm worried about you. I mean, you're going to be going into that courthouse and they're going to be asking you questions.
I'm going to be okay, Mama. I got people looking out for me.
Paula? Mama? They're ready.
You just watch out for her.
Okay.
And then she has that meeting with the lawyers, and then afterwards she's like, I didn't think it was going to be like that. I thought you were going to protect me. And
you have no idea what all they said. It was horrible. They acted like it was true. Susie, you didn't tell me it was going to be like that. You said it was going to be okay.
I'm sorry, Paula. Now you listen to me. These are ruthless, terrible people, but they are not going to win. They have no idea how hard it's about to get for him. No idea.
It's very dismissive. Everything that Judith Light says is like...
How could Judith Light not have prepped her for being eviscerated like that about her personal sex? Like, they're gonna be ugly, they're gonna do that.
Right, you should
how
get
could
a
you
heads
not
up
be
from a lawyer
prepped?
what opposing counsel.
Like, how could you...
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would be even beneficial for her side to not prepare her to, like, have her be blindsided.
I didn't get that part at all. How could you not have prepped her for this?
Unless she really just doesn't care, but I don't know.
Or maybe, like, she knew what they were throwing at her would be untrue, and she wanted that, like, genuine, surprised reaction from her. So that it doesn't seem, like, fake, you know? You know what I mean? I mean, there could be that. I mean, it's, like, there's no excuse for it, like, at all. It's, like, indefensible, and, like, maybe that's her reason. You know?
But just trying to find her reasoning. Like, why would you do...
They're going to throw stuff that isn't true, and she's going to have a genuine reaction to it.
Yeah.
Everyone's so bad.
Everyone's so bad.
Except Colin Hanks, I guess.
Although he does work for Kenneth Starr, so
I know,
he can't be great, but he did make a couple good points.
I don't think it was him, but someone in that group was like, it's good that there's evidence because the jury would fucking hate that lady.
No, it was him.
Yeah.
It definitely was.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we could kind of segue into Meaningful Passages, because that was one of mine for sure.
I've already started underlining meaningful passages in her copy of Moby Dick, if you know what I mean.
This is bigger than Whitewater.
Fuck that, it's bigger than Watergate, man. We have tapes.
Watergate had tapes. And thank God we do too. Because the jury would fucking hate that lady.
It's fun when you're involved in a lawsuit and you know a jury would hate a person.
I really felt for her.
I assume that's fine.
Yeah.
I really felt for Linda's daughter. She's like bringing the Christmas ornaments, like, well, this is your favorite part.
I need a minute.
Yeah, this is your favorite thing.
I have to do a call. Just need a minute.
Her mom is constantly on the phone with like a 23-year-old coworker, and that must have been really awful to like see your mom go into this alternate reality and become obsessed with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much she knew
paranoia.
at the time, but you gotta know something's going on with Mom.
Yeah, it just seemed like that would be rough growing up in that house.
I did read an interview with the daughter recently about the show, and she said that, or it wasn't an interview, but I don't know. I just heard that she said somewhere that she thought Linda would have liked this portrayal of her and thought it really did get her side a bit.
I do believe deep down she thought she was doing something for a greater good. It's just probably greatly blinded by other factors and didn't think about the consequences on this, as we were saying, terribly, terribly young woman.
You got some feedback from, I think it was, we were talking backstage, one of her daughters, I don't know. Yeah.
Allison, who is featured in the show quite heavily as we go along. I was very moved by what I read that her daughter said, and for me, as far as critics go, it's the only thing that mattered to me, that she, in fact, at least as far as seeing the first episode, she made it very clear where she was like, I've only seen one, and I may not hold on to this thought by the end of it, which is totally fair. But it meant that maybe, she sort of said she wished her mother could have seen it. And that, really to me, is single tear.
Yeah, single tear.
Wow.
So, I don't know. I mean, it's supposedly pretty accurate.
I mean, I guess, she probably doesn't think she did anything wrong.
Yeah.
So...
Because she's continuously twisting what's really happening and being self-righteous about it, so.
Yeah. I listened to this podcast it was like a Slate podcast. It was her last interview. The journalist went to her Christmas shop and spent the day with Linda Tripp.
Really?
And she's still talking about it I knew if I didn't do something, there was going to be a Mack truck in my future. Or she really talks her life was on the line,
Wow.
There was going to be an accident. Or,
Wow.
This is crazy.
What did she think is going to happen? I don't know. She's always saying, I'm a single mother. I need to protect myself. Just stay out of it and you'll be protected.
Right, yeah.
You might have to go to court and testify for one day, but that's about it. What the fuck do you think is going to happen to you? Oh, yeah, so we're doing Meaningful Passages.
Right.
I wrote, I assume you'd all come briefed.
You called us.
I'm in a terrible situation. Facing prison, or worse. All because I've borne witness to a series of ongoing crimes.
What crimes?
Were you not all briefed? I assume you'd all come briefed.
That's so funny. They showed up. She's like, you haven't been briefed? You mean to tell me you haven't been briefed?
My most meaningful was no one supports women more than me, and the thing I just said, the jury would fucking hate that.
Yeah.
I really, really liked that.
I loved that too. And I love the continuation of the bitterness between Susan and Linda. Susan comes up, your cheese log is so great. Or,
Your cheese log is so creamy.
Not now, Susan.
Not now, Susan.
I know, you too.
And,
why did she even invite her? I do love that later she's like, it was a mistake inviting her.
I should get back. Susan has probably consumed my entire cheese log. Inviting her was a misstep.
I'm like, what? Why is she there? They hate each other.
I know.
I love how much they hate each other.
I know, not only that she invited her, but then Susan came. Why did Susan come, even?
I know, it's like there was a little olive branch, and then it's instantly like, oh, fuck off. Like, God damn it. I knew I hated you, Linda.
That Christmas party scene is so intense.
Yeah, when they have, like, is it Carol of the Bells? Like, that's the creepiest Christmas song ever.
It is.
It's like a call to war or something.
Dun, 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 dun.
There's like a Beavis and Butthead of that. This is like so metal. They're like, dun, 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 dun.
It's really
And they're like, ding dong, ding dong.
I love that show so much.
That show is really fucking funny.
Yeah, it's just like one of the, I mean, it's like it like pans to like the trippy looking like Christmas things in slow motion.
Yeah, the camera is like steady cam the whole time. It's almost like a drug trip scene.
Yeah, you can almost like feel like the anxiety attack
Yes.
that is coming on with Monica.
It's a very good rising panic attack scene, I think.
That Christmas song is really creepy. I'm just always...
And just, yeah, all the Bavarian Christmas decorations with the zooming in, like the fisheye on a couple of them. It's really funny. Like, Christmas is haunted!
Yeah, exactly.
I wrote down all the, like, the FBI. I just love the whole scene of them listening in and being like, there it is!
Vernon Jordan got you a big job, didn't he?
Yes.
There it is! There it is!
This reminds me of True Romance when they're all like listening. She's a wild man in this Linda trip.
Could watch that movie right now.
And then I wrote, all I've ever wanted is for Monica to be okay, because I was just like, fuck you, Linda.
Right.
I've given her my time, my counsel in her darkest, loneliest hour. There was one person she knew would pick up the phone, and that was me. All I want, all I have ever wanted, is for Monica to be okay. But I had to protect myself. And thank fucking God I did.
Can't believe Linda said that.
Yeah.
That
Then
is...
just Merry Christmas, Monica, with the passes.
I know!
But I need to talk to my lawyer before I do anything. Merry Christmas, Monica.
What a nuanced line reading on Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Bravo, Sarah Paulson. Merry Christmas, Monica. And I also wrote opportunities to view other male penises, because that was in the Paula Jones thing.
So I'm left to gather that your ability to tell whether a man's penis is small or large is based on opportunities you've had to view other male penises.
Seems like a rock and a hard place here.
What a sexy question,
Right.
too.
What else does a suicide need, huh? Now, if you'll excuse me.
Oh, do we have hot props? Because I got a couple.
Shut up. Hot Probs is on.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I think there's just the time Monica's sitting in the dark. I had a medium hot prop with, there's a scene where it's like Brett Kavanaugh, and he's like, oh, I never take no for
Yes.
Do you think I don't feel like a failure too?
We're failures if we quit. What, am I the only one who sees this? Huh? Come on, Kavanaugh. Huh? You don't think we should just quit?
I never like to take no for an answer, but Jackie, there isn't a path forward here.
I felt that was a moment of like, let's make sure the audience knows who this is. Like the guy calls him Kavanaugh, you know.
Yeah.
All right, we got it. Also, what's the guy's name that Blair Underwood plays?
Vernon Jordan.
Yeah. Do they like darken Blair Underwood's skin to play this character? It seems like they do.
I don't think so.
I feel like he's that dark.
I think that's just the
It's just that
fucking lighting is like, yeah. It's the way they're shooting everything is like so dark.
I'm skeptical.
I don't know, maybe. I could be wrong about that.
It's weird seeing him so old.
Yeah, maybe it's the
some of the
contrast of his
makeup
gray
and,
hair. I'm not used to seeing.
It's still kind of hard to see Clinton and like all the prosthetics. I mean, they made Clinton look like an attractive. I'm just like, that's Clive Owen, and I can like hear Clive Owen's British voice like in my head.
Yeah, he does a good Bill Clinton timbre, but then there's just something very specific to Clive Owen's speech patterns that are still there and very. You could just hear that every time. I'm always looking for the Clive Owen under the Clinton face.
Yeah.
I think Clive Owen's such a good actor, but it's really just always hard when you're playing someone so notable, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still not sure if it would have been better to have him just be Clive Owen and doing the voice and the clothes or whatever, or if the benefits of the prosthetics outweigh the downsides.
Right.
I don't know. We'll never know.
But they made 2 versions.
I mean, he looks really attractive, Bill Clinton, and I've never really thought...
I don't know, I get the opposite.
Bill Clinton
I feel like... Well, Bill Clinton definitely didn't do it for me either, but I'm just saying I feel like the opposite. Like, normally I'm all about Clive Owen, but I'm like, I can't see Clive Owen in there. I can hear him, but I can't see him. Which is good, because I don't want to. I don't want to see sexy Clive in there. That would ruin it. He is very hot normally to me.
Oh my god, that's something.
Do we agree on that one?
Because you know why? Because you like British and I like smoldering, and he's like that rare smoldering British guy.
He is. Oof.
Creepy, that was so weird.
We agree on a guy.
I know, so rare.
Oh, so my hot prop was Linda telling the FBI lady, your one job was to clip it. Clip the microphone.
Get her to talk about Vernon George.
Jesus Christ, your one job was to properly clip.
Just breathe.
Oh, shut up. I know how to breathe.
That is literally not her one job.
Right.
Oh,
I hate in general that you had one job. Like, it's almost never true.
Yes.
You know?
I know. It's usually the person who has the most jobs that you're saying that to.
I mean, she will find something to criticize.
Right.
But especially to women. She's so shitty to women specifically. Like, she's not really talking to the FBI men that way so much.
Yeah.
A little bit, like, I can't believe you weren't briefed, but that's different than saying you had one job.
Right.
She's like, I just wanted to protect myself, and thank God I did. like, here I come to the rescue of myself.
Thank God for me.
Thank God for me.
Oh God.
I really hope Sarah Paulson had a good time doing that.
Just
Jesus.
so many moments where it's like almost funny, but it's like, oh my God, I can't. Wow.
Yeah. And then I have a hot prop that they were eating lunch at 2:45.
Right, and how long was that lunch? Because then when she left, it was so dark out, and it's like, yeah, I know it's winter, but it's DC, like not far north at all, you know, like. How long was that lunch?
That lunch was
That
so
had to be 3
long.
hours for it to be that dark out when she got out.
Yeah. And then finally, just when Linda's changing her tactic on trying to keep Monica from cleaning the dress, and she says, I want you to look thin and beautiful, and that dress makes you look heavy. I was just like so triggered by that, because those are all shit my mom would say to me. And she wasn't even like ulterior motives, like she was just necking for fun. Like, why would you wear that dress? It makes you look ugly. Like, she would say that to me, like, your outfit makes you look ugly. If I was wearing a baggy t-shirt, she'd be like, why would you want to look heavy? Like, so many triggered things of, oh, what a fucked up, terrible time. So Linda really is being the most toxic mom possible to Monica. And where is Monica's mom? Is she still just asleep in that hotel room this whole time?
I mean, it sounds like her childhood was, like, her parents were, like, Beverly Hills wealthy, status-oriented. Like, her mom was, like, some writer. I think she wrote a book about Pavarotti, and I think she maybe had an affair with him, or, like...
With Pavarotti?
Yeah, or was rumored to or something. Like, it just seems like her parents were, like... not
absentee.
Really yeah, like, it seems like she had a lot of probably emotional neglect in her childhood.
Yeah.
And, like,
seems like she was always searching for some sort of parental figure and looking in all the very wrong places.
And very, like, love-starved.
Yeah.
Really, like, for anything. For, like,
Yeah.
crumb of anything. Yeah.
And every single person who filled that role was doing it in a fucked up way. I think she's okay now, but oh, Monica, I'm so sorry. God, what a horrible time to grow up.
Yeah.
Next call.
This is just an aside, but there's somebody in the episode eating Five Guys. Is that like a DC thing that started? Like, I had never heard of Five Guys until like
Me either.
a couple years ago.
Until they opened at the Thornton Place.
Yeah. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe that was a DC thing that started there.
Probably, I feel like they have a lot of attention to detail. Like, they
Yeah.
would throw in Five Guys if it wasn't there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like, they're really good with the cars, too. They have all the mise en scène is really period oriented.
Well,
go ahead.
there was a scene like where Juanita Broderick, our Arkansas.
Oh, right. Yes, we didn't talk about that.
The lawyers were coming, and
those were private detectives.
Private detectives.
Christian private detectives.
That was such a strange dad. That was kind of triggering for me. Like, just like, are you a Christian, ma'am?
It's the past. I don't want to relive it. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's just Rick and I have been praying the Lord would send us to the right people. We've been on this a while now, so.
Are you a Christian, ma'am?
Yeah.
So is Paula Jones, and all of her attorneys good Christian men.
They're trying
That's
to use
true.
that
was
as
a big motif
because the manipulation to get her to divulge stuff, and then the woman, like the private investigators, like
just would ask that you pray on it.
It's such a manipulative thing to say. I hate
the way
absolutely. Christianity is used like as this tool.
Yeah, and how Ken Starr starts the meeting with the Bible verse, and
oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of just fucked up Christianity in this episode.
Yeah.
I guess that's perfect for a Christmas episode.
Yeah, that's true. Should we do our poll?
Yeah.
So this is what's called a lunchtime poll.
Well, I'll start for once. I think this was 2007. The poll. The poll is just Christmas party stories, right? Yeah. To say is fucked up. Well, mine's gonna be fucked up, but memorable Christmas party stories. And I do want to say that this was a Christmas party because that's the kind of office this was. It wasn't a holiday party. It was 2007. I was working at this startup that had all kinds of fucked up shit going on. This is basically like the guy who ran this company had just all kinds of like little business deals going on, and basically his whole MO was go bankrupt, run it into the ground, and start again.
Was that the guy that made you watch The Hangover?
No, it's a different one.
Oh, okay.
That was my time with like the financial bros. I worked with financial bros.
Step into my orifice.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I remember that. He also liked to say, let's take a taco time out a lot. So every time I see taco time, I think about that.
That's the only good thing I've heard.
Yeah, no, I know. That was cute. Everything else was inappropriate. But this is, so the rundown of characters in this office, I'm going to do some pseudonyms here, but it was kind of a family business. So the CEO was, we'll call him Larry. He's like Hollywood cheesy. He would wear like low-cut shirts with gold chains. Would love to name drop and be like, oh yeah, I met Beyonce and Jay-Z, and I'm in talks with them about something, when this was like definitely not true at all. Like, I'm sure they blew him off, and he probably did meet them, but they were like, get this guy away from me, and he was like, here's my business card. And then his dad was like the HR person, and then his sister did something. There was the whole family thing, and then he hired this gross power couple who are conservative Jewish people. The Jewish part isn't really all that important other than they talked about it all the time. Like, they were like, we're very important in the Jewish Republican community. And the guy, what did I call him? Morton. Morton was like a conservative blogger with a following, and he'd been on like conservative talk radio locally a bunch. And then his wife was like always wearing power suits and had like a really bad dye job. And like they both thought they were like this huge deal when they were really in this sad startup that was definitely on its way to bankruptcy. And this was the first Christmas party, and I'd only worked there for like 2 months. We got there a little late. We weren't even sure we were going to go. And everyone was like, I can't believe you're here. Me and Burgess walked in with like the only other normal guy at the company and his wife at the time. And we'd gone out for drinks ahead of time because we were like, we can't arrive sober. So anyway, we get there. And the first thing that happened is everyone starts exchanging money because they all literally had bets on whether or not we were going to show up.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Like right in front of us, like they're handing money to each other. I don't remember who bet what. But
that's awkward.
Yeah, awkward. And then the next thing that happened was Morton is like, so you're Chris. I've heard so much about you, and if you're the man who's defiling Jessica, I will have to kick your ass.
What?
Literally, that's what he said. The first thing he said to my
husband, right?
Fiance at the time, but.
Oh my God. Where do I start? Oh my God.
And this man, like, barely spoke to me in the office. It was like, he never spoke, because, like, obviously, once I found out he was a conservative blogger, I was like, we have nothing to talk about. And I think he knew that I was not in the conservative scene either.
Was he wasted?
Yeah, everyone was wasted.
Okay.
Everyone was hammered.
This tracks.
Yeah. But, like, that was the first thing he said. And then the CEO, Larry, was like, do you need a drink? And Chris said, like, what do you have for scotch or bourbon or whatever? And he brings back a pint glass filled with bourbon for my husband. Fortunately, we weren't driving home. But... And then the only other thing I remember from that party was, like, the IT guy came late. He came even later than us. And this guy literally smelled, like, had BO problems.
Oh, no.
And was a teetotaler, not that that's a problem, but I just can't believe he did this thing he did sober. He and his girlfriend were like, we showed up late, but we arrived prepared to sing a Christmas carol with harmonies. And the two of them just, like, stand in the middle of the party singing this song that I've never heard before. I don't even remember what it was. Like, it was like some Christmassy song with harmonies, a cappella, stopped the party. Like, we're here, it's time for us to sing our song.
That is insane.
Yeah, and then after that, we were like, okay, it's time to go. And then we left. And we were in Issaquah, too, by the way, like, which is very far away from where we are now. Oh, it was weird.
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
Yeah. Oh, and then the other thing was that I spent, like, a lot of the evening talking to this 8-year-old because she was, like, the most normal person at the party. She lived there, and she had rats. Like, I remember being like, I don't want to talk to any of these grown-ups. I don't want to talk to the people I work with. And this 8-year-old girl came into the room holding a rat, and I was like, I want to talk to you. And at the time, that was, like, a big deal because I did not know any kids or even know how to talk to kids, really. I was a young lady in my late 20s. All right, that's my story.
Wow. Well, I can go next. My story was, it's about, like, a Christmas party at the office. It was a long time ago, but, like, a guy in the office went around and trying to recruit us to, like, sing Christmas songs.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
For the party. And, like, I actually considered it because I was like, oh, that could be fun, you know? And I didn't end up doing it, but, like, yeah, when they did it, it was, like, kind of, like, religious-y song. I had to, like, kind of leave to not, maybe that's just Christianity has that effect on me or something.
Fair.
I was like, oh my God, this is a little too Von Trappy for me.
It's a Von Trapp.
Right, it's a trap.
That's literally what a Von Trapp is. It's like, I trapped you into singing songs in public when you didn't want to.
I feel like I dodged a bullet, so that was good. That's my story.
Mine, I don't remember what year it was, but I had a friend, I mean, I guess I'm still friends with her, but, like, that they had, like, a Christmas party every year that was, like, kind of a serious Christmas party. They had friends who, like, played instruments, and it was, like, we're gonna sing. It was, like, a sing Christmas carols party, which was actually really fun. No,
That's it fun?
That
Okay.
was fun. Like, I mean, it was, like, I just never knew people that did this so seriously, where it's, like, they had, like, a stack of, like, printed songbooks.
Oh,
you know?
Jesus.
And it was, like, like, which one, you know, and okay, turn to page, like, 37, and the lyrics, you know, and everyone sing along. Like, a Christmas sing-along that...
A salon.
Wow. I know, that's so Jane Austen.
I mean, it was. Yeah, this is really happening, you know, but it was fun. Like, that was just part of the party, and then the rest of it was just, like, a regular Christmas party. And how I knew this woman is her daughter went to grade school with Logan, with my older one, right? So it was, like, around that time, like, when my kids were in elementary school. We would do this, like, a few years in a row, so I don't remember which time this was, but... Oh, it must have been, like, Logan was either 4th or 5th grade, because this kid only came to that school at that time. So there was a family there. Oh, God. All right, I'll just call him Cucumber Dad, because that's what we call him, although this was before the cucumber story. But anyway, so it's this guy and his wife. They had a kid, Logan's age, in school. And I didn't really know them that well. Like, I really liked the mom and Safe Space. Like, up until this happened, I had a little crush on the dad because he's super my type, like a smoldering honey ball guy, right? Anyway, so we were all talking, and this is, like, height of Me Too stuff. The way this came up was something about Matt Damon, and it was like Matt Damon had said some dumb shit and was getting roasted about it on Twitter. Like, he said some dumb shit about Me Too, you know?
Yeah.
So we were talking about that and saying, like, what dumb thing that was to say, and everyone's got their stories. And Cucumber Dad starts in, and he literally said this, like, he's like, okay, now I'm just playing devil's advocate. Why? No.
We don't do that anymore.
Devil does not need an advocate here, you know. At first, he was like real bent out of shape about the Matt Damon thing. Like, so what? So he said something dumb. We don't have to ruin a guy over it. Like he was comparing him somehow to Harvey Weinstein, and it's like, okay, well, he's, you know, like he's sort of saying like that's not the same thing. What Matt Damon did isn't the same as what Harvey Weinstein did, you know. And I'm like, yeah, and he's not facing the same consequences. Like Harvey Weinstein's going to be prosecuted and go to jail. Matt Damon's going to get made fun of on Twitter. It's not the same, and it won't play out the same way, you know. And then he kept going, got harder in on this. Like, what is even the point of all this? Society has always been that way, you know. There's always been a casting couch in LA, and just it's always been this way. Do you really think it's going to change? Just so you can see, again, his wife sitting there like, stop talking, you know.
Are they still married, these people?
As far as I know,
oh my God.
As far as I know, they are.
Yeah, wow. This poor woman.
I know. There was one time I feel like she was like blinking me a message like when we were both still married. I mean, she definitely was. Well, I can't say. I mean, I don't know.
Just let me know when we need to launch the Save Mrs. Cucumber Dad's campaign.
I want to know the story about the cucumber.
Maybe you should tell it just for context. I know it's not related, but it's...
Well, I mean, it's semi-related because it's about having guests over or whatever. But so another time, we had like a small gathering here, and you, Jessica, and your family were there. And I think that's the only other people that were there was Cucumber Dad, and his wife was awesome and his kids were awesome. So it's weird, you know, sometimes you know a family where there's awesome wife, awesome kids, and horrible husband like this.
It's weird how often that happens.
But anyway, so this guy started telling the story. The way this came up is we were telling about how sometimes like your kids have horrible friends, right? And how it came up, Dash had a friend over once, and Dash didn't really like this kid that much, and this is the last time this kid was over, and this kid was like outside on the porch yelling swear words, yelling the N-word, right? I know, and it's like, that kid was like the worst. And he was like also trying to break the fence, and I told him like, stop doing that, he's like, I don't care. Like,
oh fucking hell.
And that kid had like the nicest parents,
Really?
He was like some bad seed kid, right?
Wow.
So that's how it came up of like when your kids bring terrible kids to your house.
Yeah.
And this guy starts to tell a story of how his 8-year-old daughter had a friend over who was also an 8-year-old girl. And his wife made this lovely plate of food, like cut up some cucumbers, put out some Manchego cheese, the Cadillac of cheese, right? And crackers, put this like nice tray of food out. And this little girl came up and just like grabbed all the cucumbers and started eating them. And he told her, hey, those are for everybody. Those aren't just for you. Put some back. And that she was a little mouthy about it, was like, I don't care, whatever. And he's telling this story voluntarily, right? And then he said, and I said to her, this is my house.
Oh my God.
I'm not even exaggerating how he was acting.
You're not.
He's like a big, like, swarthy man, you know, telling about how he really told off this little girl who was disrespecting him in his house by eating food that they put out for people.
This is his story of a bad kid.
Right.
This is his bad kid example story.
Yes. And then the kid like started crying and locked herself in the bathroom. And it was a whole big thing. They had to call her mom to come get her, and then I had to like hide out in the garage. It's my wife, things. And even then, when he said that, like how his wife had to be the one to talk to the mom and tell the mom what happened, you know, and I was like, yeah, like you had to do some damage control there. And his wife was like, yes, that's it, you know. And the guy is still acting like, no, like I had to, because I wasn't cooled off yet. Like, did not see how he was absolutely not the hero of this story.
So amazing.
Right. And then I remember when they left, Burgess was like, okay, I'm team kid.
Yeah. We all agree we're team 8-year-old girl, right?
Right. Like the crime of eating the food that you put out for your guests.
There were vegetables? I don't know. It's like just, I would be so stoked if a kid grabbed a stack of cucumbers.
Right. It's not like, oh, you put a bunch of cookies out and she took them all or something. Yeah, so that's how we got. So this,
oh my God.
The Christmas thing was before the cucumber thing, but he's retroactively cucumber dad in the story. That guy should like never speak.
Totally. I know. He's before Bean Dad even.
Oh God. Yeah, God, I wish he would jump on Twitter and he could so easily be a main character.
Yeah. That was amazing. I know. I just want that story out there. It's gonna be out there now. Yay!
Cucumber Dad.
I can't wait till American Crime Story Cucumber Dad.
I think the next one is going to be Studio 54. Which would be more fun.
What's the crime?
I don't know.
I'm sure there were crimes.
I mean, besides cocaine, just like tons of cocaine all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody died.
No, I feel like there's some murder around.
Oh, there was maybe a murder and then they had to shut it down because there was a murder. Yeah. Is that what it is?
I don't know. I just saw on IMDb. It's the next episode.
Well, that's exciting. The next season. Cool. All right. Well, we did it. Episode 5. In the can. If you enjoyed this episode of Paid in Puke, please take a minute to rate us highly on your preferred podcast listening apparatus. If you did not enjoy this episode, no further action is necessary. Paid in Puke is hosted by Annie Malone, Christina Barr, and Jessica Baxter. Music by Silent Partner. Follow us on Twitter at PaidInPukePod, on Instagram at PaidInPukeSeattle, and on Facebook at Paid in Puke Podcast. Thanks for listening.
Lick it up, baby. Lick it